Hello? Do you want to just sit right there and like talk?
Hi.
How you're gonna normally talk?
Oh. Hi, my name is Heather Moore. I go by Heather B. Moore when I write books, or HB Moore. I have 4 kids and I'm a grandma to one, and I lived in Utah for quite a while. I grew up in Utah, then we moved away to some different states, and now we've been in Utah for just over 20 years. In early 2020, January 2020, I had been pitching a couple book ideas to my publisher. And then a few days later, they sent me an email and they had a story idea come across their desk, mailed in by a family. And so they were asking me if I would be interested in writing a historical novel based on a man's life who had become a spy in East Germany in the 1960s. I had never written a historical novel based on someone that was still alive, so it was a little bit intimidating. In 1959, Bob Ainama was drafted into the U.S. Army. West Germany was his first assignment. They asked him to go undercover and work as a spy in East Germany, but Bob got caught and he was turned into the Soviets who ran the country, and he was put into a Soviet prison where he was there for at least 6 months, and he was beaten every single day. He was questioned, he was starved, he was living in a cold, dark cell, and somehow he survived. And the guard that was bringing him his food one day came and said, "Get dressed, you're being released."
Well, I thought, you're not going to get out of this. I can't say I'm going to get out of the meeting, so I might as well have some fun. So there was a guard there. I don't know his name. I don't know his name even today, but I refer to him as Adolf. And then when they took me upstairs to be questioned and I get beat up, I congratulate the guy that's doing the meeting. I said, "Boy, you're very good at this." So, might as well have some fun.
He had never told anyone in his family until after he was married. He had told his wife a little bit, but none of his children had known anything until that previous year. One of the hurdles we had is that he was 85 and sometimes his memory wasn't exactly perfect. Sometimes he would say, "There's some things I have wanted to forget or tried to forget." Another hurdle was that he was hospitalized for a little bit with an infection, and so I got very nervous that he would pass away before my book was finished written. Unfortunately, Bob did pass away before the book came out. He passed away, but he was able to read the manuscript in advance.
Whatever comes, learn to love it. So I kind of developed that as my philosophy. And it's pretty hard to love something where they're beating the tar out of you. But I tried to look at the positive side. What's going to happen? And if I knew the end results, as I do now, I'd do it again. I really would. It's a miracle to me. I never thought that wall would come down. I'm so grateful that it did.
So Bob passed away August 9th, 2021, and his book came out September 7th, 2021. And I remember when I got the email about his death, I just felt like this huge deflation, because I thought, oh no, this is not fair, because I was hoping to go up to Idaho and do a book signing and have him at the event and just have people meet him and tell him how much they appreciated his service. And the neat thing was that even though he hadn't shared all the hard things he had gone through, he had always lived his life in a very Christ-like way. Everybody that he knew, everyone that he interacted with, they all had like the same perception and same experience with him. So what we did for the book launch is I did some book signings in Utah. I was going to Arizona that same week, so I did a book signing in Arizona. I also wrote an article for the Desert News, and that was also shared through like KSL and some other news entities. And I was also interviewed by a couple radio stations in Idaho. And the book has been really well received. In fact, on Amazon, when you get reviewed or ranked on a book, is people can give you between 1 to 5 stars. And almost all my books on there have a 4.5-star average. And that's just when you combine all the reviews. And Bob's book has a 5-star average. When I wrote Bob Inama's book, it was right in the heart of the pandemic. I was working out of my house. I couldn't go to the library. I didn't really have space because my daughter was home doing online school. My husband was home working as well. So I really had to find a way to do this book justice. So I think my biggest lesson that I learned is that I could do hard things in different ways. And I just learned that no matter what trial you're going through, whether you're in a pandemic, whether you're locked down in your apartment, you can always be a good influence, and you can always love whoever your neighbor is or whoever your worst enemy is, just like Bob did. If Bob were here today and if he was still alive, I would just give him a big hug and I thank him for his service.